He was a man of power, a man who believed he had everything figured out. Money, success, influence, and most importantly, control over people. His name was Emeka, a successful businessman in the city. To the world, he was polished, respected, and admired. But behind closed doors, he was something else. He was a man who didn't respect women, especially not his wife. His wife, Dr. Adaora, was everything he was not. She was a highly respected doctor, calm, intelligent, beautiful in a quiet, dignified way. The kind of woman who could walk into a room and silence it, not with noise but with presence. But Emeka never saw her that way. To him, she was too serious, too boring, too predictable, and worst of all, too easy to control. Their marriage was built on respect from the outside, but inside, it was breaking slowly. Emeka rarely came home early. He ignored her advice. He dismissed her opinions, and sometimes he made her feel like she didn't matter at all. One evening, Emeka made a decision that would change everything. After a stressful day of meetings, he called one of his usual contacts, someone he often met in secret, a young woman named Bola. She was the opposite of his wife, bold, loud, flirtatious. She laughed easily, touched him freely, and made him feel like he was in control. Unlike his wife, Bola didn't challenge him, and that was exactly what he liked. That night, Emeka decided to meet Bola at a hotel. He didn't tell his wife. He didn't think he needed to. He left home with confidence and zero guilt. Meanwhile, back at home, Dr. Adaora sat quietly in the living room. She had just returned from the hospital after a long shift. She looked tired, but her eyes showed concern. Something didn't feel right. She checked her phone. No message, no call, no response. She sighed softly. Again. This wasn't the first time. She knew where Emeka had gone. She didn't need proof. But tonight, something felt different. Back at the hotel, Emeka arrived, dressed sharply, confidence in every step. Bola greeted him with a smile. "Baby, you're late," she teased. He smirked. "Traffic," he replied. Even though there was none. They entered the room. The atmosphere was thick with intention. Emeka was relaxed. Too relaxed. He didn't notice how heavy his breathing had become. He didn't notice how fast his heart was beating. Minutes passed. They talked. They laughed. But suddenly, Emeka felt something strange. A tightness in his chest. A strange pressure. He paused. Put his hand on his chest. "Ah, what is this?" he muttered. Bola frowned. "What's wrong?" I feel dizzy." His vision blurred. The room seemed to spin. He tried to stand, but his legs gave way. "Emeka!" Bola rushed toward him as he collapsed onto the bed. His breathing became shallow, his body weak. "Call someone," he gasped. I can't breathe." Panic filled the room. Bola grabbed her phone, shaking. "I'm calling an ambulance." At that exact moment, Emeka's phone rang. Bola glanced at the screen. It was a saved contact. "Wife," she froze. "Wife." She hesitated, then answered. "Hello." A calm but firm voice responded. "This is Dr. Adaora. Is this Emeka's phone?" Bola swallowed hard. "Yes, he's not feeling well." There was a brief silence on the other end. Then, "Put him on the phone." Bola handed the phone over with shaking hands. Emeka weakly took the phone. "Ada," he whispered. His voice was faint. "Ada, I don't feel good." Dr. Adaora didn't panic. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. Her voice remained steady. "What are your symptoms?" I feel weak. My chest. It hurts." "Stay calm. Do not move. Lie flat." Even though her heart was breaking, she remained composed, professional, precise. Then she said something that made everything freeze. "I am coming." Bola looked at Emeka in confusion. Your wife is coming?" Emeka nodded weakly. "Yes." Bola's face changed. From confidence, to shock, to fear. "Wait. Your wife is a doctor?" Emeka closed his eyes. He had never told her. because in his mind, his wife didn't matter. Minutes later, the door burst open. Dr. Eudora walked in her white coat, calm, focused, powerful. And the moment she entered the room, everything changed. She didn't look at Bola, not even once. Her eyes went straight to Emeka, her husband, the man who betrayed her, the man who had no idea who she truly was in moments like this. She knelt beside him, checked his pulse, his breathing, his pupils, everything in seconds. "Prepare to call emergency services if needed," she said calmly. Then she turned to Bola. "Step away." Her voice was firm. Bola moved immediately. She could feel the authority in it. As Eudora worked, Emeka looked at her weakly. "Ada, I'm sorry." But she didn't respond. Not yet. Not emotionally. Because in that moment, she was not just his wife. She was his doctor. After stabilizing his condition, she finally spoke. Quietly, calmly, but with a sharp edge. "You said you were tired of me." Emeka's eyes filled with tears. "You said I was boring." Silence. "You said I wasn't enough." Her voice didn't shake, but her pain was clear. "And yet," she looked him in the eyes, "when your life was on the line, you called me." Emeka broke down. "I didn't know. I didn't realize." Eudora stood up slowly, her expression unreadable. "Tonight," she said softly, "you didn't just cheat on me." She paused. "You disrespected me." Another pause. "You brought another woman into a space where I should have been enough." Emeka cried silently. For the first time, he felt the weight of his actions. Eudora continued. "But life has a way of revealing truth." She looked at him with a calm, powerful gaze. "And tonight, you saw the truth." Bola stood in silence, shaken. She now understood everything. She wasn't the problem. She was just part of the illusion Emeka created. Eudora adjusted her coat. "I will finish treating you. But when you recover," she paused, "we will talk." Emeka nodded weakly. For the first time, he wasn't the powerful man in control. He was just a man who realized too late what he had lost. After that night, nothing was ever the same again. Emeka returned home expecting silence. Maybe anger, maybe even forgiveness. But what he found was something else entirely. The house was empty. No lights, no sound. Only a single envelope placed neatly on the table. With trembling hands, he opened it. Inside was a document, contract, their marriage contract, and beneath it, a second document, withdrawal notice. Emeka's heart sank. He skimmed through it quickly. Every word felt like a blow. Due to repeated emotional neglect, disrespect, and breach of trust, Dr. Eudora has withdrawn all shared business and legal ties, effective immediately. His mind went blank. What is this?" he whispered. For the first time, he realized something terrifying. His wife wasn't just a doctor. She wasn't just quiet or boring. She was powerful, not in a loud, aggressive way, but in a way that had always been behind the scenes. And now, he was feeling the full weight of it. Every business he thought he owned was partly built on agreements she helped structure. Every financial advantage was supported by her intelligence. And now, she had removed her support. Clean, precise, final. Emeka dropped the paper. "No, no, no, no." He rushed to his phone, called her. No answer. Again, no answer. Hours later, he finally got a message. "You made your choices. Now live with them." No anger, no insults, just truth. Emeka felt something break inside him. The next day, he went to see Bola. He needed distraction, validation, control, something to make him feel like himself again. He arrived at the hotel, knocked on the door. But when the door opened, Bola wasn't alone. A man stood behind her, tall, confident, smiling. Bola looked at Emeka with a blank expression. "Oh, it's you." Emeka forced a smile. "Can I come in?" She shook her head. "No," he frowned. "What do you mean? You're joking, right?" She crossed her arms. You think you can just show up here like nothing happened? Emeka was confused. What are you talking about? She let out a short laugh. You really don't get it, do you? She stepped aside slightly. The man behind her placed his hand around her waist. I'm not your backup plan, she said calmly. Emeka froze. For a moment, he said nothing. Then he tried to regain control. Listen, I can take care of you. I always have. But this time, Bola didn't smile, didn't flirt, didn't play along. She looked him straight in the eyes. Take care of me? She repeated. You couldn't even take care of your own marriage. Silence. And now, she continued, you have nothing to offer. Emeka's face tightened. You're serious? Very serious. She closed the door slightly. You should go. And just like that, the door shut in his face. Emeka stood there in shock. The same man who once felt powerful was now being rejected. Twice. He walked away slowly, his confidence gone, his ego shattered. For days he tried to fix things, called his wife, went to her workplace, sent messages, asked for meetings. But Dr. Adaora remained focused, calm, unbothered. She didn't shout. She didn't argue. She didn't chase him. She simply moved on. Meanwhile, Emeka began to lose control over his business life. Contracts were cancelled. Partners distanced themselves. His reputation, once strong, started to weaken, because for the first time, he was no longer protected by the woman he ignored. And the painful truth became clear. The person he thought was too quiet was actually the foundation holding everything together. Weeks passed. One evening, Emeka sat alone, in silence. No distractions, no ego, no pride, just truth. He finally whispered to himself, I lost everything, because I didn't value what I had. But it was too late to undo the damage. The end.